Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another exciting episode of Trigger Warning Radio. I am your host, the Kaiju Conservative. So, Gab, the free speech social media network, has been given, as of this recording, less than 24 hours to live. So, what happened with Gab? What's the new attack going on? Well, Gab received news Saturday afternoon that their hosting company, Joyent, was going to pull their hosting because they were promoting violent content, essentially, that violated their terms of service, and they gave them till Monday at 9 a.m. to find an alternative means of hosting. Now, this came just hours after PayPal severed all ties with Gab, citing the same reason, promoting violent views and violating their terms of service. So what the hell is up with Gab? What's going on with it? Well, I'm sure you folks heard Saturday rather, that of the mass shooting at the synagogue in Pittsburgh, where a piece of shit grabbed a gun, walked into a synagogue, and opened fire and ended up killing 11 people and injuring many, many more. Well, this shooter, it was discovered, had an account on Gab that he used to spread his violent, hate-filled rhetoric, anti-Jewish, racist, anti-Trump as well. This guy was not a right-winger by any means. But because he used Gab, that led the left to call for Gab to be shut down, and of course their hosting company and PayPal obliged. It's the Alex Jones deplatforming situation all over again. This is almost the exact playbook that they followed when InfoWars was deplatformed as well. It's just a little quicker this time around, because I guess they got their practice in and they know what they're doing now. Now, the interesting thing, of course, about all this is that this shooter also had an account on Twitter, and he also had an account on Facebook, and he used them for the exact same thing that he used Gab for. The fake MAGA bomber, so-called MAGA bomber, Caesar Sayoc, he also had numerous accounts on Twitter, numerous accounts on Facebook, and you know, he was promoting violent content on those as well. In fact, you can go on Facebook and Twitter right now, and you can find all sorts of anti-Semitic Nazi propaganda. You can find Islamic jihadist propaganda, beheading videos, people committing actual crimes on Twitter and Facebook. You can find child porn. You can find all this horrible, nasty shit on those major social media networks. And yet there is not one call from the left to shut those networks down. Not one at all. Going back to Caesar Sayoc, the only thing that Twitter had to do is they just had to apologize and then ban this guy. Oh, we're sorry that we allowed him to promote his violent his violent fantasies on our platform. We've banned him, and we're very, very sorry. It won't happen again. Except it will happen again, folks, because these companies, they care more about money than actually creating a healthy online environment. If that was the case, we wouldn't need platforms like Gab that are dedicated to free speech, because these Twitter and Facebook would be filling that role. So, you know, the question then becomes, you know, why is the left trying to kill Gab once again, and why does it look like they might succeed this time? Well, I think it boils down to the reason why they're trying to kill Gab. It boils down, ladies and gentlemen, to the simple fact that leftists are about control. The biggest thing that they want to control is the conversation. They want to control your speech, because if they control your speech, they control your ideas, and they win. They can squash all rebellion against any of their policies, any of their thoughts, and those thoughts and policies become mainstream, and they gain control over society. They gain control over the government. That is why the left is trying to kill Gab, ladies and gentlemen. And it's no coincidence, folks, that this sort of thing is happening not even a little over a week before the 2018 midterm elections. That's why you're seeing this stuff ramp up, is because the left is trying to control the conversation, and they want to do it so that way they can try and influence the election through the censorship and shadow banning of Facebook and Twitter. It is as simple as it gets, folks. Now, will Gab survive this? You know, I'm optimistic generally about this sort of thing. This isn't the first attack that Gab has had upon it, placed upon it. I mean, you might remember a couple of months ago, Microsoft Azure threatened to yank their hosting as well. They gave Gab a lot more time though than Joyent did. Joyent gave Gab less than 48 hours. Microsoft Azure gave them, I want to say, a couple of weeks, couple of days to get that handled. And Gab went ahead and did it, and they found the alternative. I'm not so optimistic that's something that can happen this time. I mean, I know Andrew Torba and his team are working on it, but it's a tall order for them, folks. What they're going through, having to defend their network and themselves from constant attacks, as well as trying to find alternative hosting. I don't know if they're going to be able to make it through that. I'd like to say that yes, they will, but I can't be that optimistic this time. I mean, and Torba himself has said this might result in Gab being down for weeks at a time. Now, if that happens, folks, I think that'll essentially kill Gab as a meaningful social media network, definitely as an alternative to Twitter, because there's just I don't think they're going to be able to recapture their user base that easily once they come back. There's a lot of people that will not find their way back to Gab. They'll have found their way either back to Twitter or Facebook, or they'll have found their way to other alternatives. So, folks, I'm pulling for Gab, but I don't know. I just don't know. Hey guys, thanks so much for listening. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments section below. As always, if you liked what you heard, leave a like and subscribe to my channel. Both of those things help me out quite a bit, and I will see you all next time.